Robert, how do you go about planning an English lesson for your students?
Most schools have a set curriculum and they work off a textbook. This school works off this textbook, New Headway. Each of these books are broken up into units or chapters which cover a specific grammar point, and they are broken into listening, speaking, reading and writing. Today we are doing vocabulary and listening for sport and leisure. Sport's a very popular subject with the students. Sport is played all over the world, and it's a common thing that everyone shares, and especially with the Beijing Olympics on now, it's very relevant and quite enjoyable.
So what interested you in becoming an English teacher?
Well, initially I wanted to travel. 10 years ago after university I backpacked and I ended up in Japan, and I taught English there for 6 months, but not in any formal way. 10 years later, wanting to travel but not having the funds to pay for that travel, I thought, well, I could teach English again. And thus I decided to get qualifications through the University of Cambridge. It's an internationally recognised qualification. It's called the CELTA qualification, and it's a 1-month course that allows you to teach English. Usually do require a degree beforehand.
So are there any particular personal skills or qualities that you need to become an English teacher?
A strength in English, obviously. I was very good at English and humanities at school, but really any native speaker can teach English. You just have to learn how to teach it. You understand how to use it, but you might not know how to teach it.
Class, before the break we were working on page 21, exercise 4, the table for Mary, Jenny and Thomas. We only had one more to do, and that was Thomas and his football team and whether he was good at it. Jack, what did Thomas say in the listening exercise? Did he say the team was good or wasn't very good? That's right. The team isn't very good.
Isn't very good.
Is not very good.
Do you have any particular range of techniques that you use in the class, or it varies?
Well, it's a mix of everything. We have to cover the four aspects of language: reading, writing, speaking and listening. Different students have difficulties in different aspects, so we do have to cover those. And we cover those with a range of tasks. It might be just a writing exercise, or we listen to a CD, perhaps a script. Reading exercises, which are in the textbook, as well as speaking exercises, the example being this one at this very moment. Earlier today we were doing sports vocabulary, and it's now after lunch and we're doing a board game based on sports vocabulary. They get to practice their speaking and listening, and there's 3 parts to it. There's the quiz, which is questions. There's which sport, which is a picture of the sport, as well as 60 seconds, where they have to speak for 60 seconds about the sport. It's a great exercise. They get to practice with their classmates. It's a bit of fun, and everyone enjoys a board game.
What is tambac? George can award in ice cream.
In which sport do you use shuttlecock, badminton or fishing? In which sport do you use a shuttlecock, badminton?
Badminton.
What number? Ice Georgie?
Can you tell whether they're benefiting from these sorts of exercises at all?
Yeah. Anytime they speak, anytime they get to practice speaking is of benefit. You know, most of the time they're listening to me or listening to a recording or reading, so really the the most important thing with English is speaking. No one ever asks, do you write English? They always ask, do you speak English? So speaking is of utmost importance, and the more they do it, the better they become.
Do they ever come out with things that sort of surprise you?
Yeah, well, English is not always sensible, you know, it's grown over the years, so there's a lot of exceptions, and, you know, they might say, you know, something like, in cricket they might say, they throw the ball, which is true, but really we say that we bowl the ball, you know. There's always interesting things I'm learning from the students as much as they're learning from me.
And what keeps you motivated in the work? Do you enjoy it?
Oh, absolutely, it's fun. It's great fun every day. It's like going on holidays every day, you know. I get to interact with all these different nationalities, and I learn a bit about them and their countries and their stories and stuff. It's fascinating.